Well, when I was a kid, I didn't have a chance to do that. I did do some wrestling for a little bit,
Cool.
And that taught me a lot. But sports guided me in many ways. So I'm glad to hear that was your experience with Taekwondo. The character and the character building and all those topics that you mentioned.
Yeah. And
I've heard about that, but I haven't heard it articulated so well. And the description of the amount of work that went in sounded like it went through your high school, all the way through high school. Is that right?
just about, yeah. I kind of stopped going as much, I think, in my senior year of school, of high school. But yeah, from the time I was 5 until I was 17, 18, I went religiously. Yeah. And the discipline that it taught me, and just, ability to keep pushing forward in life and not let something knock you down. And if it does, you get right back up and you keep going and you shake it off. And, it's just, it really, and integrity is so important too. And just doing the right thing when no one's watching. Like, it's just, I get the chills thinking about it, just because I'm a very firm believer. It's kind of a good segue into like talking about karma.
Yeah.
Very firm believer in karma, whether it affects us in this life or our next. I think it really, there's some level of aura, I guess, for a lack of a better word, that, having a bunch of good karma will do for you. It's just like, if you treat people how you want to be treated and you do the right thing. And I think karma can work very, very fast, or maybe it doesn't work at all. It's kind of funny. I talked about this in my last quarter of university up at Western. It was my leadership class, and I can't remember exactly what the question was, but it was something along the lines of like, what's something you believe in? Something along those lines. And every person in the class was asked this, and we all had to stand up at our seats and talk to the whole entire class about our belief. And I said, I'm a firm believer in karma. And the professor, I could tell, was intrigued. And she's like, well, believe it or not, one of the other professors who teaches the same class, his whole like purpose of like what his main thing he was studying at the time was karma. And if whatever you do, does it affect you or others in your life? Is it actually true? Like, does karma exist? And I was like, wow, that's an interesting thing to study. And so I just thought that was, and that's why I say, whether or not it affects us in this life or our next, I'm also a believer in reincarnation. And I think that, the more seeds we plant and water, the more fruitful, things can be for us in ways that we can't even fathom.
Reincarnation is basically tied to some type of Eastern philosophy. I can't remember.
Probably like Buddhism. Yeah.
And
or I think Taoism is another one, but.
Right. And you're going to be a vegetarian if you're believing in reincarnation, correct?
I am not a vegetarian.
Okay.
But I could see, I know like some people do feel that way about certain things, but yeah, I'm definitely not a vegetarian.
Right, but holy cows, for example, right?
And so my mom's parents, my grandparents, unfortunately, my grandpa just passed away a month or two months ago now. They are Seventh-day Adventists, so they don't eat pork.
I see.
And similar to like Muslims, they don't, or what do you call it? It's considered haram, or
So is that all year, or certain parts of the year?
That's all year. Okay. Yeah, they do not eat pork.
Are there any religions that don't eat pork certain times, but other times they can, or not?
I mean, in Christianity and Catholicism, or any branch of Christianity, they do. I don't know the name of it.
When they
fast, they fast so they can give up certain things. Yep. So maybe like in that sense, they could give up that, but they go pretty intense into what they're, they create the rules for themselves for that.
So the pork, the not eating pork is from the Old Testament, right?
I don't exactly know.
Yeah, and how it was prepared. And
something mentioned in the Quran or the Bible somewhere that the whoever invented the religion said that this verse said this, so we're not going to eat this, essentially, something along those lines. I don't know what the exact verbiage is, but yeah, and in a way, I kind of understand what they're saying. And even like, it's interesting. You say, well, are you vegetarian? Because even when you think about like cows or chicken, a lot of people who are vegetarian, that's exactly why, because the way that these animals are treated in their lives, the feelings that they're having and the stress that they're going through, you kill them and then you eat that. Are you then taking on that stress that they lived through their entire life with?
Yeah, they're doing it for more of a spiritual reason instead of a health reason.
Right.
And I think that diet would be like, they would say plant-based diet, right?
Yeah.
If they're doing it for their health, where vegetarians would typically I would experience that spiritual reason, right? The concept of wholeness, or like the concept of like karma, or reincarnation, and that's why I bring it up with with your diet. And last time we almost did this podcast together, you showed me your necklace. Right?
Yeah. My pine cone here.
Yeah. Where'd you get that?
Or
did you make it?
I did not make it, but I do have a friend that can make them pretty nicely. This one, I actually... Yeah. So what's cool about them is they're made in Bellingham.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's called...
And that's where you went to school, right?
Yeah, Third Eye Pine Cones is the name of the company. And...
Do they have a store, or is it like...
I think it's just
selling it online?
Online.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I'm sure there are stores up there that definitely do. But what's so funny about it is I didn't buy it in Bellingham. I bought it in Ohio, of all places.
Really?
Yeah.
Really? You were in Ohio?
I was in Ohio, yes.
Wow,
I know,
awesome.
right?
What part of Ohio? My brother lives there.
Legend Valley.
Legend Valley?
Yeah, so we we flew into Chicago, actually.
Yeah.
Because flights were significantly cheaper in Chicago than they were to fly into like Columbus, because it was like a last minute thing. I went there for a music festival. It's called Lost Lands.
Okay.
That's
it's like the band? Or that's
the name of the music festival.
Okay,
the guy that puts it on, his name is Excision. Yeah. And he's like the biggest dubstep producer or name in the world. And so Lost Lands is pretty much like dubstep Disneyland, as people call it.
Okay.
It's dinosaur themed, lots of fun. And I was walking around the vendors and I saw the pine cones, and it's a very popular thing among people my age. Yeah. Anywhere from 20 to 40 that go to concerts.
Yeah.
That a lot of people have these, and I'm like, oh man, I've always wanted one, but I just never bought one until I was there. And I'm like, oh, well, this will be a cool thing to remember. Like, this is where I got the pine cone, even though it's made in my own state, but to get it in Ohio, I don't know, it added a little bit of sentimental value to it.
Sure.
And ever since I bought it, this was last September, I only take it off really when I'm getting in the shower. It's just like,
nice.
I don't know, it's really become a piece of me, and pine cones are very symbolic. It's sealed with an epoxy, so it's very smooth. It's got the Om sign back here. It's got the flower of life. There's an Australian opal in there, which is said to help with communication. I don't know, if I ever forget to put it on and I'm like going somewhere, I'm like, oh my gosh, I feel like I'm missing something now.
Nice.
But yeah, pine cones are symbolic of the third eye, and all throughout history too, like even in ancient Egyptian times, the leaders, they would have staves, and on the top of their staves, they'd have pine cones, or the shape of one. And they, as I said, the third eye, which is also from the pineal gland. And so that's where the third eye is said to be, or it's also called the seat of your soul. That's kind of the gist. It's just a little token that I carry with me that is kind of become a piece of me, and I feel like it helps me for some reason. Like just in communication, and there's something about a pine cone that I think is just cool too. So
great. Now, is that the base of the pine cone? Is that the bottom of it?
It's like the heart of it. Yeah.
Okay. And when you take apart a pine cone, you get that shape.
Right. Yeah. And it's really unique. Its pattern that it has.
Right.
It almost looks like a spider.
So that's the natural shape right there?
Yeah.
It's just stained?
Right. Yeah. It's sealed with epoxy. And then the flower of life, which is my favorite sacred geometry. I've got it like tattooed right here as well.
Okay. So that's
all
a
on my
combination
arm.
of circles?
Yeah. And it's like when we're formed in the womb, it is the shape of our cells as they come together, essentially.
Okay.
So,
When we're like 8 cells or
right.
10
and then
cells, right?
it's, in my opinion, like what ties us together, like what holds our skin together is that pattern, the way that it's shaped. And it's seen all throughout history, and it has some pretty cool like stories behind it too, with like the like ancient Egyptian like myths and the way that like cities were formed based around the structure. And it's just kind of interesting. There's a book I read. It's called The Ancient Secret of the Flower of Life, and it's the author's name is Drunvalo Melchizedek, and he's just he gave himself that name, and it's kind of a collection of like all the religion and stories kind of combined together into what he thinks is the reason that we're here today and how we evolved in it. And it's kind of like a fan fiction type book, but some of what he says is very interesting and just has some cool ideas.